Hello, Verbling.com members. Welcome to another English class brought to you by Verbling.com, because Verbling.com is the best place on earth to learn a second language. You can connect and practice with a native speaker instantly. Welcome. We have our premium members taking their place in the class. Their reservations. And what we are going to be working on this hour are principally our reading skills. The topic for this hour that I chose was the 2-year anniversary of the terrible earthquake and tidal wave, or tsunami, that struck northeastern Japan. Almost exactly 2 years ago. I believe March 11th is the date of the disaster. And we are going to take a look at some of the information about how Japan has been rebuilding and repairing and replacing the homes, businesses, and infrastructure such as roads and highways after that terrible situation. And to start the class, what I wanted to do was to bring up the YouTube function and to play a video showing the enormous wave, the enormous wall of water. In English, we refer to it as a tidal wave. The Japanese term is widely used, tsunami, and some of the destruction that took place almost exactly 2 years ago. And so let me play this first video. Now, the video does not have... where are we here? Now the video, and you can hear me, everyone?
Yes, I can see the video.
And you can hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, okay, yes. Good. Yeah, because unless people speak Japanese, we will not be able to understand what the helicopter pilot or journalist is saying. So this is obviously after they knew that the wave was coming. This is a tidal wave or tsunami approaching the shore. You can see how quickly it's traveling. Does anybody remember this? Does anybody remember some of the situations that took place during this disaster? We can make comments.
I remember.
Yeah. Go ahead.
There is a seaside and like beach, and everything is dropped.
Yes, and so I didn't understand the last word. So everything was perhaps...
Everything is underwater.
Right. Okay, good. Now, in ordinary terms, we say flooded, which I put in the Verbling chat box. So, but this is more than flooding. Everything was destroyed. Everything was washed away. I think that term was used quite a bit, like a phrasal verb, to be washed away and destroyed by the wave. So you can see just houses being destroyed. Very sad situation. Some other comments? What else happened at the time of this earthquake and tsunami or tidal wave?
And Geoff, I think there is a movie about
a nuclear accident.
Yeah, and so sorry, Hamid was saying that there was a movie, and Luis, go ahead, please.
A nuclear accident happened in Japan
so there was
these days.
Very serious release of radiation. You can see that beautiful Japanese farmland. They have thousands of years of tradition farming, just being devastated and washed away. The debris, the amount of destroyed houses, etc., just really terrible. But I wanted to show. Yes, please go ahead with another comment.
It also has a big gap on the economy statement and financial situations.
Yes, and so it's had a very serious financial impact. Is that what you mean? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And now I would like to add another video, but what's happening here? Okay, let's try and bring the YouTube back. Dear, I want to add another video, and it's not allowing me. And so what I'd like to do is, while I'm trying to get this to work, could I ask people to please share with us any disasters that have taken place in their country or neighboring countries? Has your country helped out other countries that have been impacted by a disaster? And what about the rebuilding process? Again, I want to focus on that. Perhaps things that have been rebuilt better than they were before. And so, Ahmed, could you make a statement for us about that?
Statement about that?
Yes. Well, where are you connecting from? And has your country suffered any kind of disaster and which required a lot of rebuilding?
It's not rebuilding, but it was about the health.
Okay. And
it was the swine flu disaster that came or happened to our country. So many people died because of this disaster. A disaster, it doesn't mean rebuilding or something, but it also.
So that had a very serious impact.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is stop that video because I'd like to say hello to people. Andoni, welcome. Where are you connecting from, and has your country needed to rebuild after a disaster?
I'm from Mexico, and yes, in Mexico there was a very big earthquake in 1985. It is very famous because a lot of people died there in that disaster, and it took a lot of time to rebuild Mexico City again. So it was a terrible disaster that happened here in Mexico.
Yeah, and Mexico City is better prepared now, correct?
Yes, Mexico City now has a better infrastructure.
Good. Excellent. Thank you. Hamid, has Turkey ever suffered a natural disaster, or neighboring countries?
Yes, in 1999, there was a big earthquake for Turkey, and it provided to consciousness something for public and government too, and we started to learn earthquake life.
Okay, so it made people aware of the danger, and you have started to prepare for another earthquake?
Yes, and sometimes we can make practicing things for earthquake. So consciousness is very solution like these events.
Okay, so the consciousness is very high. People know about earthquakes.
Yes.
All right, great.
Because earthquake is realistic of life.
Yeah, it's a reality. It's a reality of life, of living where you are. Yeah, excellent. Great, thank you. Hussein, hello, welcome. Where are you connecting from? Hussein, are you there? Okay, it may be better for you to turn off your video. That may increase the speed of your connection, Hussein. And so I'd like to go on to Katjan Hoover. Hello. I can see your laptop there. Hello. So I'm sorry. Oh, she's gone. Okay. And so Luis, how about the natural disasters in Brazil?
Yes, I can talk about the special in Rio. The disaster here is caused because of the rain, because of the storms. There is flooding, there is slice in the hill. I don't know the name correctly.
Yeah, landslides, or we say mudslides.
Mudslides, landslide. Yeah, and the poor people lives in the hill. So when happens these landslides, many people die. Many people is homeless. Is going homeless because of that. It's very sad stories happen here.
Right. Many people lose their homes. Many people become homeless. Right. Yeah. Yes. Excellent. And I'd like to move on to Marcia. Hello, Marcia.
Hello. Luis told about the big ones. We don't have big ones like earthquake or like that in Mexico or in Italy, but a few floods and the landslides.
Yeah. Now, after a situation, after a mudslide or a landslide, is the area being rebuilt safely, or are people being relocated to safe areas?
No, the corruption in Brazil don't allow to be rebuilt safety. I think the people suffer because that it's not in the most of cases they all themselves must to rebuild.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And just the pressure to rebuild wherever they can, which is usually a dangerous place. I know I've seen in Latin America quite a few people building homes in river valleys, for example, and so every year there are floods, and it's a difficult situation for poor people who are looking for a place to live. All right, and Massimo, hello, welcome.
Hello, I'm from Rome, Italy.
Please go ahead with a comment. Yes.
Okay. We had some real important earthquakes in the last years. In particular, if you remember, we had one in Abruzzo region, L'Aquila, and we had about 300 fatalities. And sometimes we have also some floods. The last one I remember is near the Genoa city, a place very interesting called Le Cinque Terre. It's a touristic place.
Okay. Now, what about rebuilding? And I know that there are so many historical buildings in Italy, so that must make rebuilding very, very difficult.
Yes, I think so. I think there is here in Italy, there is a big risk because we have a lot of ancient buildings, also, and I think also there are some other buildings, like in L'Aquila, that are not so safe.
Yeah. We say in everyday terms, we say earthquake proof, or earthquake resistant. And so, yeah, that's very difficult to make a building that's, well, maybe close to, well, let's say 500 years old, earthquake proof. Yeah, great. Well, good luck with that. Mina, hello, welcome.
Hey, teacher.
So we're talking about rebuilding after disasters. Do you have something to share from your country?
Yeah, it was earthquake. Also, it was on 1992. It was 5.8 magnitude.
Mm-hmm.
It caused like say, around, I think, 400 deaths.
Okay, right. And so the rebuilding has gone well. The area has been rebuilt.
No, just there is no crisis management. Just community efforts.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so well, when did this earthquake happen?
No, it was long time ago, 1992.
Yeah, and so the people rebuilt the area.
No, some of them is still living nowhere.
Oh, really? So still some homeless people, or are still unable to rebuild. Okay. Wow, that's okay. That's too bad. And so I'd like to say hello to. Now, hold on a second. Yes, Mine. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back. Long time no see.
Actually, welcome back because I haven't seen you for a while.
I've been on holiday.
I see. Yeah.
So we're talking about rebuilding after disasters, natural disasters or fires, or rebuilding after conflict or war. Do you have any comments about that?
Earthquake is like mayor in Turkey also, I think so, because we had a very big earthquake last 10 years, and I have a phobia about the earthquake.
You have a phobia or fear of earthquakes?
Yeah. Phobia, yes.
So, well, you're not living in an area where there is a risk of earthquakes, correct?
Before I lived in Istanbul, and it's very close to earthquake area. Okay. Now, in this area, I don't think so. It's very safe because all over the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Now I live in the USA also. Yes.
But that in Istanbul, are the buildings earthquake-proof or earthquake-resistant now?
The government has a program. They support the earthquake resistance building and the other stuff. But in Turkey, they have two phases. One is they try to make strong building, but on the other hand, they can also make really worse building.
Oh, okay. And so, right, and with older buildings, you're trying to upgrade the earthquake resistance or its ability to survive an earthquake. So
yeah,
big long-term projects, unfortunately. Yes. Okay. And Rafael, hello, welcome.
Hello. How are you?
Good. Where are you connecting from?
Sorry, it's not very good the connection. So repeat, please.
Yes. Where are you calling from? Where are you connecting from?
From Spain.
Good. And so, how about rebuilding after a disaster in Spain? Have there been some natural disasters in Spain?
No big disasters, but just only floods, and I don't know how to say shower. No, shower when the opposite.
Droughts of no rain.
No rain, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Some years is no rain, and some years is floods.
Yeah. Okay. And so are to be prepared for floods. Have the cities built infrastructure to be prepared for the flooding?
The big cities, yes, but sometimes have problems in some cities. All above in villages,
Villages.
in villages,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
because the infrastructures
Yes.
are old.
Yeah. The infrastructure. The infrastructure is old.
Infrastructure are old.
Is.
It's old.
It's non-countable. We think of it as one thing. Yeah. Great. And so Adam, have we? Hello.
Hello, hi.
Yeah, yes. Sorry, we have spoken, correct? Yes.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
speaking now.
From Egypt. Yes. Good. Okay. Good.
Yes,
So,
I'm from Egypt. Yes, also.
so what I would like to do. Sorry, I'm going to bring up the screen share, and but right now I would like to play this video about some of the rebuilding and reconstruction that has taken place in Japan.
Japanese.
So can people see this? You can see the highway was destroyed. And so
Yes.
if people can add the YouTube application, perhaps they need to do that. So you can see an amazing amount of work needed to be done to remove the debris, the damaged material left by the impact of the tsunami. This is a picture of it happening now.
Where is the picture? Okay.
People can see, the slides.
No, I
Thank you.
can, yes.
Yeah, if you cannot see the slide presentation, try to add the, see if you can click on the left-hand side of your screen. There is the YouTube application. And we'll allow this to play. People can practice making some comments. Go ahead, please. And if people, I'd ask that people do not click on the video.
Where is the video?
Fukushima disaster is a very big disaster after Chernobyl.
Yeah, so the Japanese release of radiation during their disaster is the second worst nuclear disaster in history.
Yes.
And so they're building these seawalls or dikes to try and...
We cannot you, Geoff. We cannot hear you.
Sorry, yes. So they're rebuilding some of the protection. I saw in some of the videos that they had seawalls constructed. And look here, they're repairing this ship where it was washed. And look at the amount of debris or rubble. This all had to be removed away. That's the first stage. Just an enormous task to try and remove all the damaged materials.
And this disaster remembers me the Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Okay, it reminds you. It
Yes.
reminds you of the atomic bombs that were dropped
Yes.
on Japan.
And I think history is cycling, repeating.
Yeah, we say history is repeating itself. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think Japan has had literally thousands of years of history of suffering these disasters. It's just that in their country, I don't think there's a choice. People need to live on the coast. It's the only place where you can live. And the coastline, unfortunately, is susceptible. But in this picture, you can see the huge seawall that they built to protect the city, but it was not high enough. Some of these walls were 5 meters high, but they were not high enough. So again, just massive amounts of debris.
And
of course,
these disasters are their destinies, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, it's part of the reality of living in Japan, and they may be the most prepared people in the world. So I'm saying that it's a reality. Earthquakes are a reality in Japan, and so everyone is prepared for an earthquake and tsunami as much as possible.
Excuse me?
So, yes, sorry, Rafael?
Yes, excuse me. Where can I see the videos you are watching?
You cannot see the video?
No.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. You may need to add the YouTube application. So you can get that by clicking on the YouTube icon that's on the left of your screen.
Okay.
So for next time. Thank you, sorry. And so let's move on with the information that I have here. And I have the links on the document, GWF8, and so you can watch those short videos yourself. And so what I would like to do is to ask, oh sorry, I need to bring this up on the screen share. So I would like Adan, please, to read the introduction that I wrote.
I read Japan, Marcus.
Yes, please.
Yes, this topic.
It says 2 years ago.
2 years ago, Japan suffered one of the worst natural disasters in history. Let's read about the rebuilding efforts that are still in action.
Okay.
A man.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Continue. Okay. A man points to the name of one of the victims of the earthquake and tsunami inscribed in a cenotaphs in Okawa district in Shinomaki.
Yeah, maybe I'll just, this is in northern Japan. Well, I don't know how to pronounce the Japanese words. And so, yeah, just the pronunciation of tsunami, really just the S sound. The T is more or less silent. And cenotaph, which is a memorial monument. That's not a common word used in English, so don't worry about cenotaph. And could you read this for us, please?
Okay.
Adan, please.
Prefecture.
Japan has observed.
Japan has observed a moment of silence to mark the second anniversary of a devastating earthquake and tsunami that claimed nearly 19,000 lives and caused the worst unclear accident since the 1986 Chernobyl disaster.
Okay, and let me help you. In this case, we're talking about people's lives. So this is not the verb. These are the nouns, and so we say lives. And since was the worst nuclear disaster since. And it's quite common to observe a moment of silence to honor the people who died in the disaster. And so I'd like to go on to the next person, please. So Andoni, could you read this paragraph for us, please?
Okay. At a national ceremony in Tokyo Monday, attended by Emperor Akihito, Empress Michiko, and other top government officials, attendees
Good.
stood in silence at 2:46 p.m. The exact time the 9.0 magnitude earthquake on March 11th, 2011 of Japan's northeastern Pacific coast.
No, good job. Northeastern. And then we were just talking about royal families. So Japan has a royal family, the Emperor and Empress.
Excuse me?
And so, yes. Please
Sorry,
go ahead.
Sorry,
No.
what is this text?
Okay, now, can you see this? So you need to look at the video images at the bottom of the screen.
You too?
No, this is just the small video images at the bottom of the screen of all the participants. Please click on the one that is white, and that should bring that video image up onto the main screen. And you can also download the document from the links that people have put in the verbling.com chat box. So Hamid, for example, has put a link in the Verbling chat box.
The links, yes. Hamid have a link. Okay, is that?
Great.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. You're welcome. And this 9.0 magnitude earthquake is one of the biggest earthquakes that has ever happened. So really, it's just, oh yes, and attendees, the people who attended the ceremony, the attendees. All right, so let's move on. And what I wanted to do was just to move this down. And we'll go to the next person. Hamid, could you read this, a short selection of text, please?
Okay. Anti-nuclear demonstrations were also planned across Japan to call on the country to abandon nuclear power generation.
Okay, they planned. A D sound as quick as possible. Planned.
Okay.
Now, I have added photographs to this document, so the photographs do not match the text. And so you see some searchers and workers going through the debris, the wreckage. Please continue, Hamid.
Okay. The quake triggered a killer tsunami that swallowed coastal communities, battered the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant, and left nearly 19,000 people dead or missing.
Please continue.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Efforts to rebuild the disaster-hit region have been slow. Figures show more than 300,000 people are still without a permanent home, many remaining in cramped temporary housing units.
Okay, cramped, a T sound as quick as possible. Cramped.
Cramped.
So, yeah, very small and full of people. Cramped. Crowded, very similar to that. All right, and so 300,000 people are still without a permanent home. They're living in temporary housing. And to batter means to hit and damage. So, right, let's move on. Here is one of the monuments, one of the remaining pieces of the damaged infrastructure. And so, Luis, could you read the title sorry, the description of the photograph, please?
Yes. People bow their heads. People bow their heads in a moment of silence around what is left of a disaster control center devastated by the March 11, 2011 earthquake and tsunami Minamizankiriku, Miyagi Prefecture, Japan, March 11, 2013.
Right. And so devastated.
Devastated.
And I'm just going to quickly turn off the screen share. In this context, the word is to bow. Ow, bow. That is the pronunciation in this context. And so to bow their heads is this. And in Japan, for example, the people often bow to show respect. And so that is the word in this context. Right? And so I'll bring the screen share back up. And again, I'm waiting for students to make comments, to ask questions. Are you understanding the words? So to bow their heads, those are the thing. And please continue, please. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, to bow means we can use for a queen or king.
Yes, absolutely. You bow before the king or queen.
Okay.
Good example. Luis, please continue.
Okay. Japan marks 2 years since triple disaster amid slow progress on rebuilding, radiation cleanup. Kyoto News, Associated Press. People offer prayers in front of a memorial cenotaph for tsunami victims on a beach in Arahama in Sendai. Miyagi Prefecture.
Yeah. We say
Japan. Prefecture, Japan.
Yeah.
Monday morning, March 11, 2013. Japan marked the second anniversary of its earthquake, tsunami, and nuclear catastrophe that killed nearly 19,000 people in areas along Japan's northwestern coast.
Northeastern coast. Yeah, and prefecture, the E is silent, and marked, a T sound as quick as possible. Marked. And triple.
What does mean prefecture?
Yeah, prefecture is a political area, so it's like a city or a municipality.
Okay.
Or it may be similar to a province or state. I'm not sure. And just think, it was a triple disaster. So an earthquake, a tsunami, and the nuclear disaster. So a triple disaster. And these are the people bowing their heads before the memorial of the people who were killed on that beach. And I've chosen two articles. And so let me see. I'm just trying to think of what would be interesting to do at this point. Let's continue. Sorry. So Marcia, could you please read from Tokyo, please?
Tokyo. Amid growing dissatisfaction with the slow pace of recovery, Japan marked the second anniversary Monday of the devastating earthquake and tsunami that left near 19,000 people dead or missing and has displaced more than 300.
300,000.
300,000. Okay. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said that the government intends to make visible reconstruction progress and accelerate resettlement of those left homeless by streamlining legal and administrative procedures, many blaming for the delays.
Okay, good. Now blame, this is a silent E, So for those of you working on your pronunciation of words, often the E at the end of an English word is silent.
Okay,
Just to let you know, Marcia, I know that you can't hear this, but when you move, you're creating quite a bit of sound in your microphone. So maybe take a look at where your microphone is placed and see if you can eliminate that noise that you're making by moving, etc. The people were displaced. They ended up being homeless. Resettlement is moving people to another area and building homes for them there. And streamlining, so eliminating and making the process more efficient, legal and administrative procedures that people are blaming for the slow reconstruction. And so, yes. And I know that there is a lot of repetition here. I took copies of 2 similar articles. I do recommend this for students, to read 2 short articles about the same subject to practice your English by getting some additional practice. Here is an idea of what the wave looked like. Here are the islands of Hawaii and the epicenter, the center of the earthquake, which happened just off of this coast. So the wave must have hit them so quickly. And so I'm going to move this down for the next person. And again, when I'm moving the text, people are welcome to make comments. And so, Massimo, could you read this for us, please?
Okay. Earthquake in Japan, a wave of destruction. I pray that the peaceful lives of those affected can resume as soon as possible. Emperor Akito said that at a somber memorial service at Tokyo's National Theatre.
Please continue.
At observances in Tokyo and in still barren towns along the northeastern coast, those gathered bowed their heads in a moment of silence, marking the moment at 2:46 p.m. on March 11, 2011, when the magnitude 9.0 earthquake, the strongest recorded in Japan's history, struck off the coast.
Yes, and we often talk of natural disasters striking. Barren, meaning empty, with nothing there, and somber, meaning very sad and quiet. And in this case, this is not the verb to live. This is the noun, the thing, people's lives. So it's the I sound. So if this word is being used to describe something like live music, or it's the thing, the object, well, it's not really an object, is it? But a thing, the noun, someone's life, we use the I pronunciation, lives. Okay? So this was the biggest earthquake in history. Here is another memorial area.
Okay, can you tell me one more time what does mean barren?
Barren means empty, featureless, with nothing there. And so, good. Thank you. Thank you for your questions. People have left bouquets of flowers, and there are religious figures. Okay, and what I'd like to do is to go on to Mina. Could you read this paragraph for us, please?
Sure, teacher. Japan has struggled to rebuild communities and to clean up radiation from the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant, whose reactors melted down after its cooling systems were disabled by the tsunami. The government has yet to advise a new energy strategy, a central issue for a struggling economy with all but 2 of the country's nuclear reactors offline.
Okay, and so just this is a very interesting issue, and so can some students, or perhaps Yumina, can you, what is the information in this paragraph? Yeah. Any kind of statement.
They wanted to.
Go ahead, Mina.
They want to establish new strategy to get energy.
Correct.
Something no, besides the nuclear.
Excellent, great. And so Rafael, did you have a comment or?
Yeah. No.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Sorry.
Now that all but 2 of the country's nuclear reactors are offline, so that means relatively shut down or turned off. And what does it mean to melt down?
Meltdown is
quarter.
Dissolve.
Sorry, Rafael, go ahead, please.
Meltdown is like dissolve.
To dissolve, yes. To melt, good. Mine, did you have a comment or?
I just say melted down, meaning.
Oh, okay. But what is it in this specific situation? What happened? Because the nuclear reactors were not destroyed by the tsunami. They were actually not really physically damaged by the tsunami.
The cooling system was damaged by the wave, a big wave.
Yes,
so
and so what happened?
The temperature goes very high,
right.
Too high.
Out of control.
Out of control, yes.
Right, yeah, okay. And then they actually exploded from the increased pressure within the contained area. And so, yeah, there was that terrible video of the reactors exploding and releasing the radioactive material. Here is the Prime Minister of Japan bowing with respect to the Emperor and Empress of Japan, so showing respect to their royal family. And so let's move on. And so, Mine, could you read this for us, please?
Okay. About half of those displaced are evacuations from areas.
Sorry, let me help you. Evacuees.
Evacuees from areas near the nuclear plant. Hundreds of them filed a lawsuit Monday demanding compensation from the government and the now defunct plant's operator Tokyo Electric Power Company or TEPCO for their suffering and losses.
Mm-hmm.
2 years after the disaster, neither the government nor TEPCO has clearly acknowledged their responsibility, nor they have provided sufficient support to cover the damages, said Izotoka Maniji, a lawyer represented the plaintiffs.
Okay, good. Now there's some useful vocabulary here. And so maybe what I'll do is I'll see if I can bring this down. And so the people who are homeless, are they half of the people who are homeless? Are they homeless because their homes were destroyed by the tsunami?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
No.
And the other half?
The other half, they escaped the nuclear explosion.
Right. They were evacuated. So evacuees is the pronunciation. Evacuees. So
I know evacuated. This is the verb, not verb.
Yes. Well, evacuated. Sorry, go ahead, please.
Displaced or
displaced. Yeah.
Or leave this area to another area.
Evacuees are the people, and you can say that in a person who was evacuated. So they were moved away and they cannot move back home.
Evacuated is the verb. What does mean?
No, sorry. Well, you are correct. Evacuated is a verb, but it's also, it could be used as an adjective to describe someone. The evacuated people. So you have two options. You can call them evacuees or evacuated people. Okay. They filed a lawsuit. What does that mean?
They wrote like a model, a form.
Sorry, no, I didn't quite understand.
No, I think they wrote something to ask compensation. No.
Yeah, they want compensation from the government and the company that was running the nuclear reactor. So they have filed a lawsuit. Does anybody know what that means? That's quite an important phrase.
Sue
Yeah, Mina?
sue someone
Yes. Good.
in the court.
Good. To take them to court. And so, yeah, exactly. They're going to sue the government. This is the verb. And they want money. So they are going to take the government and the nuclear plant to court because they want compensation, money to compensate them for the damages, for their suffering and physical losses. And they're saying this is grammar, so neither or neither. There are two pronunciations. Neither the government nor. So not the government and not the company. So neither the government nor TEPCO has clearly acknowledged their responsibility, so their legal responsibility for providing damages. Damages is often referred to as, money given to people who were damaged. And the plaintiffs are the people complaining. So in this case, they are the evacuees, the people who were evacuated. Did I answer your question about the verb to evacuate, Mina?
Yes.
Or Mine? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is acknowledge?
Good. To acknowledge means to admit, to say, to state. So the government is saying, yes, it is our responsibility to help the people who were damaged by the nuclear disaster. To acknowledge means to admit or say or state. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
And so great. No, thank you for your questions. And we're coming down to, we've got quite a bit of reading to go. So let's just take a look at a couple. No, sorry, I'm going to stop because I end up making students doing too much reading and people don't get a chance to speak. And so I don't know where to go with this. People can be free to make a comment that they find interesting. It's just that Japan is rebuilding. The government is trying to make things go ahead more efficiently, but they're taking a long time to provide support for the people. And so maybe I'll go to Rafael. Do you have a comment about the information that we've read?
No, sorry.
Not really?
I don't know. I don't know what to comment. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll come back to you. Is there someone who would volunteer to go first? Just a reaction to the story. Anyone?
I think I can.
Yeah, Luis?
What's more impressed me about the story, the accident with the Japanese, was the ability of these people to rebuild themselves and the respect for each other. They help each other to rebuild the country, because in other places, in other countries where there was an earthquake or a catastrophe like that, people live in a chaos. The crimes happened.
Yes.
Murders, robberies, rapes, and things like that. But in Japan, nothing that happened. People was very polite with each other and help each other to rebuild the country.
Yeah, I totally agree, and thank you. That's a great point. And so it is strange to see that they're taking a long time, but Japan is going through some very difficult economic times. Looting, I've put that in the Verbling chat box. That is when there is a disaster and the police are busy and people break into stores and homes and steal things. So there was absolutely none of that in Japan, or relatively nothing. Another comment, and what I'd like to do is to try and play the video of the rebuilding again. But please go ahead. Someone else with a comment?
I think
Yeah,
Massimo.
So,
Massimo.
go ahead. Well, okay. Yeah, Massimo, go ahead, please.
I was
Thank you.
just thinking about the power of this kind of disaster, because one of the most important earthquake in Japan, I think that has made just 6 or 7 deaths, losses.
Right.
But
Okay.
but against the tsunami, I don't know how we can defend ourselves from this power.
Right, and I agree. I don't think they are trying to defend themselves. Yeah, I agree. I think it's impossible. But their decisions to rebuild are difficult because that area of the country was already having economic problems. And so how do you rebuild an area that's already having huge economic problems before the disaster? So great points. Thank you. Hamid?
Yes, I think they are remembering their deaths respectfully.
Yes, honoring the dead.
Yes, and I heard one thing about a new nuclear project for Japan. They think to work with robotic things. No people. Robot will work for nuclear centrals.
Yeah, and the people who were working in the power plant, they were absolute heroes. They almost worked themselves to death trying to save the reactors and control the disasters. So that was really another amazing story. Another comment, please?
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
I think we did like what Mother Nature told us. It's telling us always to use clean resources, and clean energy. And Japan did like what Mother Nature said, but still it's mad at us.
Yeah, right. No, these nuclear reactors are unforgivable, and the nuclear waste is so toxic for literally thousands of years.
Yes.
And so one point I wanted to make was that they're looking to try and build green communities on this coastline. So using more solar energy and wind energy in these communities, making them more self-sufficient and less reliant on a big, expensive power infrastructure that will be destroyed when the next tsunami hits, because that's going to happen at some point. A final comment from someone else?
I wanted to say
Yes.
that Japan gave us a good example to after suffering they can be strong than before, and what can't kill you make you strong.
Okay, yeah. What doesn't kill you makes you
Yes.
stronger.
Yes.
That's an interesting phrase in English. Yeah, they are. They are world leaders in rebuilding, reconstruction, and preparing for natural disasters like earthquakes. And so they are an international example of what countries can do. And so great. So what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Okay. All right. And a final comment from someone else. This is your chance to practice your English.
Actually, I have one comment. This is the expert country about the disaster you just told us, and especially earthquake, because they have earthquake every time. And I don't understand why they build up the nuclear plant area.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I think the problem was that all of Japan is an earthquake area. And so I don't think they have any area that's protected from earthquakes. And I think the other problem with nuclear reactors is they need to be built near water for the cooling system. And so they built it relatively close to the ocean. And it's just that this earthquake is the biggest in history, and it created a wave bigger than any other tsunami, I think, in history. And so it just literally was the worst case scenario of the worst disaster that could have happened. All right, but they are rebuilding, and the Japanese will, it's an amazing country. It's such a small country with so few natural resources, and so really they have created their economy by their ingenuity and their hard work and their cooperation. So they are a great example. So all the best, everybody. I'm teaching again later, so but if you can't make my late night class tonight, I'll see you soon. And remember, I'll be getting my Facebook page up and running soon. I promise you. I'm rebuilding my Facebook page, and I'm looking for involvement from students. I need ideas about the topics that you want to talk about, read about, listen to, and watch videos about, because that's how you develop your English and move it to the next level. Goodbye.
Okay, goodbye. Thank you very much. Bye-bye, everyone.
Have a good day.
Great teamwork, everybody. Excellent teamwork.